Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hard4Games channel. We are your hosts. I'm Tony.
I'm John.
I'm Corey.
AKA Snesse. Back to the channel. Last time we talked about a PlayStation portable dev system, which was very much not portable. And, well, as you can imagine, it's a dev system. But today, we're talking about a behemoth, a monolithic, a giant PlayStation 2 dev tool. It is the DTL-T10000H Dev Tool.
Yes.
She big.
The H stands for huge.
Yes. Huge.
Huge.
Indeed. Huge. Yes. It's a beautiful machine. And let's go ahead and get into it. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Ready to tinker around in its bits?
Oh yeah.
Really,
Feel it up.
yeah. What are we in middle school? All right, cheers. Let's do this.
Cheers.
This is Hard4Games. They become hard. They're Hard4Games. They become hard. They're Hard4Games.
So we've got our gigantic PlayStation 2 dev kit here. And as you can see, there's some nice little lights up here. We've got the CD, DVD drive, or emulator light.
And we got the tool light, and the workstation light, and then the hard drive light.
Yeah, so these are handy for remembering which drive you're accessing and which mode you're in. And then the buttons up here are just your power and reset buttons, which are a singular button on the retail unit, but are very nice to have two separate buttons here because the eject is over here. You can see the CD DVD drive is just not really hiding there, just enormous. It's got like a weird click to it. Feels
You've got
odd.
a laser disc in there, I think.
This thing, it might actually be larger than my Laserdisc player. Okay, so while we were screwing around, I realized, huh, that's weird, this wiggles.
Secret door.
I heard a click. Oh, there are the switches for whether or not you're using the drive or the emulator and tool or workstation mode. So there you go, there's that. We know how we get to that now. It's also got like a weird rubberized feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does not feel like a PlayStation 2. It's almost a little gummy. Weird. I'm happy they did not go with that as a final, like, coating, because that would have been disgusting. So here we have the back of our big PlayStation 2 dev unit. And you can see it's got some nice video outs that would have been sweet to have on the original, but it's got some other neat stuff in there. So you can see that we have the digital, like, optical audio out thing that you'd put your little fiber optic jack in. Oddly, there is S-Video in, which I am not entirely sure of the purpose of that. We have VGA out, which I wish that would have been a port on there, or a cable that I didn't have to buy with the ridiculously rare Linux bundle. The standard PlayStation 2 AV out. We've got a nice little card slot there that uses the sort of cards that you would see in laptops of the period. We've got a little video of us putting that in there.
It looks like there's an added card in here, maybe after it came out, just to add another output and input here.
Because that additional card there, or at least the additional VGA and the input below it, doesn't exist in the manual.
Right.
Yeah. And it looks like a nice little like Ethernet port there. And I'm not sure if that's VGA out or if that's like one of those little connectors that some controllers would use.
Like
It's
a serial.
VGA out.
Oh, it is
Yeah,
VGA
I
out.
captured video from it. Yeah.
Interesting. On a network expansion. That's, well, dev stuff, it's weird.
But it's very much like a PC because you can see the other slots where
Yeah.
you could have added additional
PCI
things.
slots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got the power cord here and your little switch to turn it on and off.
Very recessed,
Yeah.
unlike the original which you can see has, you know, that little digital audio out. It's got the little port here, power.
I'm only assuming, but it's probably because if this thing turned off while they were trying to upload something to it or download something from it, it would be a ton of wasted time.
Yeah, there's also a lot more cables on the back of this, whereas there's just like basically the two.
Yep.
Potentially
Maybe
three.
Yeah.
But, you know, chances are it's going to be laying flat, whereas a desktop, you could be moving shit around. Just, oh.
Yep.
I corrupted a file. Whoops. Gotta get the guys from IT to image it again. And now that I look again, there's a nice little row of dip switches, which are thankfully very, very recessed. So you never have to worry about those getting overly, I guess I should say, molested would sort of be the correct word. They will not get.
It actually would be.
Yeah, it's you don't have to worry about things bumping it or swapping it around. Yeah, it's very nice.
Hot stuff, boys. So as you can see, it kind of boots up to like a systems check, and like a BIOS screen. It's not really functional as a PS2 right now, and it's loud as hell.
Oh yeah.
Loud as hell, this thing. And the only other screen I've been able to get to on this is when I put a disc in.
Seems like it's waiting for interaction from a computer.
Yeah, it seems like it's waiting for the next step. So I just put it in a game.
Does it play the game?
Have you ever
No.
tried switching to workstation mode?
Oh, it's loading something.
DevTool login. So it wants me to, I need like a keyboard or something. I can't do anything with this.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have a USB keyboard, right?
Yeah, but it's not like we'll ever guess the login information.
Have you tried just password?
It should be admin or user.
Or
It says in the
password?
guide.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
All right, well,
Let's
we
give
can
it a
give it a try.
go.
It'd be lit if it worked.
Okay, so
Nope.
nope.
Doesn't look like it's getting anything.
Let's go ahead and power it down, and we'll get a little sequence when it powers down here as well.
Yeah. Interesting.
This damn thing is not loading the pages that I'm trying to go to.
There you go. Go ahead, switch it to workstation, power it up. It's so goddamn loud.
Yeah.
It really is.
Big chungus.
It is a beautiful weed whacker.
それは美しい雑草輪っかです。
Let's hope this son of a bitch works.
I mean, it works. It's just that we're not
こ
prepared
の
to use
ビーア
it.
スタリスクアス
Ah,
タ
get
リ
out
ス
of
ク
here.
アスタリスクアスタリスクの息子が機能することを期待しましょう。
Oh, it is a Pentium that's in there. Weird.
Same thing. Nothing's different.
This son of a bitch won't work.
So yeah, basically you could see here, it's in sort of a non-functional state. As far as our purposes go, it doesn't function like a PlayStation 2.
Right.
Obviously, if you knew what you were doing, you could probably do something with this. We are looking at it more from a sort of aesthetic collector perspective, and thus can't really do anything with it.
Yeah. It's just
Unfortunately.
a paperweight that boots into a Windows PC.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a very neat, heavy paperweight that is pretty badass, but at the same time, not really functional for our purposes.
Right.
Yeah, it's unfortunately during that period when dev tools needed a lot of equipment, like the 64 disk drive. Thankfully, we never had to go through the hell of that, of having like a computer running on the side and all the
Yeah.
other cartridges and stuff. And I suspect there's a lot of that to this unit.
Exactly. This tool.
It's a big tool. Bigger than tool.
Ah. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We certainly appreciate it. That is the massive PS2 development tool. Good God, is it big. Final thoughts before we depart, gentlemen.
It's like a big PS2.
It's like someone.
Yes, it is, Corey. Yes, it is. It is a big PS2.
When I first saw this thing, I thought that it was like a custom-made PC case
Yeah.
in the style of a PS2, and I'm like, that looks like a cheap knockoff. Wait, Tool? What?
Yeah.
Huge.
Then I thought of the Monolith in 2001. and
Yes.
She's
big, and you
huge.
mentioned earlier when we were talking, if you're going to collect this thing, it takes a lot of shelf space. And it's pretty damn heavy, too.
Yeah,
So
check your foundation.
Yeah, I'd say it's a hardcore collector item only, but pretty neat in terms of like...
That's dev gear.
Yeah, I mean, that's dev gear. I mean, it is always interesting when someone walks in and they're like, what the hell is that?
It's
on the
definitely
shelf?
the coolest looking dev unit I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it kind of is, and I also really like the blue on the stand. Like, it's a really
Nice gradient.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, again, big thank you to local collector Nick for lending this to us. We certainly appreciate it, and we'll see you all next time if we don't die from alcohol poisoning and sleep deprivation. I have 2 kids, and they scream and they scream and they scream and they scream and they won't stop screaming.
Scream and they scream.
Stop screaming.
Tony's been drinking since you saw the last episode. That's how this works. We didn't film these side by side.
We just re-wore the same shirt.
No, we just didn't change for an entire week, and we just kept drinking.
Let me just use this booze as an aftershave.
Well, I mean, most cologne and aftershaves is like quite alcoholic.
Yeah.